This is Survive from Scrappy Mania, and I'm going to create a card today using some of my leftover embellishments and papers from a project. I made a 8x8 album, and the album had a lot of stickers and other embellishments that I made for it, plus it came with some. So I decided to use these extra pieces to create a card. So this is the best way to take care of your scraps, is to create a card immediately after you complete a layout. So here are my scraps. So part of the leftovers that items that I had was a piece of cardstock, which was 6 by 12. So what I did is I cut it down 4 1/4 by 11, and then I folded it in half and created this card. So it's going to be this way. So it's going to open up. Then I had some leftover glitter orange cardstock, which I'm going to use for that area there. Then I used Polaroids. I made my homemade Polaroids, so I had an extra one, so I'm going to glimmer misted it. I inked the edges, and then I put a paper, a type paper in the back, because when I laid it on this cardstock, you can see, you know, where this met. So I didn't like the look of it. So then I put another piece of paper there to kind of make it a little more cohesive, and I'm going to place an item in the middle there, so it's gonna hide this a little bit. So then I'm also going to use another piece of paper that I have. This was not part of the album, but I had some of this in my scrap bag. So I'm going to put this there. So let me go ahead and get started. Before we get started, one technique that I'm using is, I bought this stamp some time ago. It's a stamp of a little girl with a little dog, and this card is going to be best friends. So this is going to be a best friend card. So I decided to make this 3-dimensional. If you've been seeing my videos lately, I've been making everything 3D. So this is no different. So I'm going to make this little girl 3D. So the first thing you do is you stamp 4 images. So I stamped 4 images, and then the first image, you're going to go ahead and color the face and the boots like I did there. Okay. Then the second image, you're going to go ahead and cut out the legs, because I'm going to make that 3-dimensional. Cut out the arms, and you're going to leave the head, and you're going to color the dress, a little bit of the hair, etc. Then on the third cardstock, I cut out the bow. I already started placing my bows on it, but I cut out the bow, and I put some foam adhesive, and I also put some glassy accent, and that was pretty much it that I did for this. Then from my first image, I cut out the legs, so those are my legs, and I put some glossy accents, and I also put some foam adhesive in the back. From that same piece, I cut out the head, and I did the same thing. Glossy accents on the ears, and some foam adhesive in the back. And then what I did is, I cut out the hair. I cut out the bandana, or the band, and I painted it. I put some glossy accent, and I already adhered it onto the hair piece with some foam adhesive. So let's go ahead and get all this together. Let's assemble our little doll. So I'm going to take the backing off. And then you got to make sure when you cut it, be very careful cutting. The layout, you got to be as precise as you can. I mean, cutting the image out, because you really wanted to make sure that it's gonna match exactly the bottom image. Otherwise, it might look a little odd. So I'm gonna go ahead and place, making sure that I match up the image correctly. Okay, and I think I got it. So there, I matched it up. And then the next piece is going to be the hair. And it helps if you have tweezers. And this one I might put a little more adhesive right there, because we really want to make sure that it adheres well. And eventually when it goes in the envelope, it's not going to sink in the sides and then look kind of weird. And I'm going to put this piece. And that's one reason I like to have the roll of foam adhesive instead of buying the little squares, because I can control it a little better when I have the roll, because I can cut the pieces to size. I guess you can do that the same thing with the squares, but I don't know, I just like the roll better. Okay. Now I'm going to take my tweezers and I'm going to make sure I match it up with the hairline. Let me bring it up. And you got to be very careful when you match this up. Okay. Up, and should have cut a little bit. You don't want to see the foam adhesive. So let me just cut this a little better. There. So there. So there you have it. Now I got to put the little doggy face. So my doggy face is going to be 3-dimensional. And you can do this with any image stamp, even with flower stamp, any stamp. You can do it if you want it 3-dimensional. You can do that with anything that you have. And then I'm going to put my boots on. And there's my, it's cute little 3-dimensional image. And prior to gluing it on, I also glimmer mist it with a little bit of my homemade glimmer mist. And you see a little shimmer. You cannot really pick it up on the camera, but it really is real shimmery. I don't know if you can see that. Okay, so I'm done with this. So let's set it aside. And let me get rid of some of these papers. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to assemble my card, but I think it needs some kind of inking on the side, and maybe what I want to do also is round the corners. I'm just going to round 3 corners. I'm going to use some of my distressing black ink. I'm going to distress the sides. Okay, now I'm going to glue this in place. And for this project, I'm going to use some double stick tape. Okay, I'm going to lay it down. And here, I'm going to go ahead and lay this down. And I'm also going to use double stick tape. Now I'm going to use a little bit of glue adhesive on the side to make sure that the paper does not kind of come up. Let me use my 2-way glue. And put some more 2-way glue on this side. There. Now I make sure that it's not gonna come up. And before I hear it down, I do have this ribbon, and I'm not sure if I want to put the ribbon now. Not sure if it needs it. I think I'm going to leave the ribbon off. And now I'm going to place it on my card. Okay. Now I'm going. Here's where I'm going to start putting some of my stickers, and I might want to use this one. You are my pal. Make sure I get rid of. This was in the line of fire when I was glimmer misting it, so it got a little bit of the glimmer mist, but that's okay. We'll just use it. You're my pal, and then I'm going to put in some more stuff around it. So now I'm not going to put a foam adhesive. It was already kind of thick with all the foam adhesive that I put on it. So I'm basically just going to use some glue, liquid glue, if I can get the bottle open. Let me get a pen. I love this adhesive, but the only thing I don't like is like you constantly have to unclog the nozzle. Okay, there. Then I want to put some stuff in there because it kind of needs something. So I do have a sticker sheet. Oh, here it is. And I got some butterflies and things like that. So let me start applying some of my stickers. And then we can apply some of this 3D stick. These Prima flowers too. This was part of the projects that I had. So I'm going to go ahead and use some of these too. And sprinkle them around the layout as well. And maybe I want to put a butterfly. So let me see if I have a butterfly or anything like that left over from this project. I do have some corners left over. And if I put one corner up there, let's see how that looks with corner down here. I think I like that look, so let me go ahead and put corner up there and this corner down here. Did this come with swirls? So I don't know if I used all my swirls, but let's see. And it might have been that I used all my swirls. Here's my project. So I'm just going to put some rhinestones. Can't pick that one up. Some of these rhinestones are not sticking very well, so I have to put adhesive on it. Like that one did not stick at all. So you need a little bit of adhesive. Not that much though. It will dry clear, so you won't even see that. And let's see if it needs anything else. Well, I think I'm okay with the front. Now let's go in the inside. So I'm going to place this there. So let me ink the edges. And I'm going to place that there with some little adhesive. I'm getting better at creating cards after I scrap. I used to just not do that and just have a bunch of scrap pieces of paper that sometimes I wouldn't use after I finish a project. So I'm getting in the habit of kind of creating these cards immediately after I scrap. I create them. So then I want to put something in here. I was thinking about putting together through thick and thin. And I think I like that here. But maybe it needs something else. So let's see if I'll mat it on here and then put it there. So maybe I want to go ahead and place it down, and then I'll create a matting around it. Or maybe I'll sprinkle some flowers. And then I might sprinkle some flowers around it. Well, let's see if I have. Kind of look okay there. Actually, I should give it some definition and ink the edges. Okay, and let's see if I have anything else I want to place on that card. I do have this flower. And then I'm going to ink. I forgot to ink the edges before I place my stuff down, but that's okay. You can still ink the edges. And put it there. And is this where I want to put my ribbon? Maybe? Maybe I do. Maybe I do want to put my ribbon there. So let me cut this. Now, these ribbon unravel, so they're synthetic, so they're gonna melt. So if you kind of burn the edges a little bit, you will prevent it from unraveling. on your card. Oops, see, it's already, but we'll take care of that piece by burning it. And just burn it off the edges there. Now we have no problem. Now I'm gonna attach it with my mini staple. If you have the mini attacher, you can use that, or I kind of have this mini staple I bought for my daughter a long time ago. She doesn't use it anymore, so I'm using it. And sometimes it doesn't, if you place it on the table, then you staple it down, it works a little better. Okay. So now I'm going to place it right here. And I'm going to use some double stick adhesive. So there, I'm done with my card. So this is the front of my card, and this is the back of my card. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and come back to see me for some more. Thank you for watching. Bye.